Ebusia for and someone I be brave. And some be nana air coso. Na yet since ya, you won't send ye see a canoe. Na ebusia for the other me so need him say aha kin to TV and some baby episode to asumbiano. And one so best as we took into TV no I share to other platform. No one ma comment or comment section. I say more if you say Ubebo notification ben some and send me at broke into TV no. Why face no one yan semi BC no one near coso a war markana. Any we are say afternoon now. It was here for in some shashada kemo. In some eshishan call phone to me. In some air coso. Na Odruba could be a better yapon so dear. It was here for Yan Jobre. Ni tin some munchi muyen sama NDC for a day a tuja. Dachi the be once on a ye in papa Mahama. As answer by a president be more. Because in summer air bobo bano. And then summer year to a yasumuno. And yasam get to a was here for. Now where the America Sam bread mention. Union pay may be in some be a tuja. You ya, if it's near a council. Men so I die, coming home, near engine church to the moon, you ya, ye Virginia account. Aha, a king to TV.
Early 2026, we started implementation. Now, our claim is a bipartisan, but this is the agenda NDC for Edenam. And somehow, we want to join them. We shall for another day. Yanko, na yanko tie ensem.
We can create any issues in terms of ambiguity, so we kept it the way it is. However, we believe we took to heart the recommendations that we got from many of the eminent persons that we met, including some who have occupied your seat, that the 4-year term was short. It was too short. And we also then learned that the emerging global norm was 5. And that even in the region, we in Nigeria have the lowest. I mean, 4 is pretty low. So we're proposing an extension by 1 more year. We have coupled that with certain recommendations on the area of campaigning, because the claim was that the president takes about 6 months or so to set up, and then 1 year campaigning and all of that. So we thought, okay, so if we then follow the example of other countries in Africa, including Senegal, where there is a definite campaign period before which you cannot do electioneering, you can't put posters, can't put billboards, can't do jingles, can't do rallies. So it's like the fishing season. You have to open it before you can go fish. So we are proposing a campaign season, a short one, so that government will have time to govern, and that the people we elect to do the government's business will really have time to focus on governing as opposed to doing campaigning. So for the first time, we hope, if this is accepted, that we will have a political or electoral environment where campaigns, we do not run 24-hour, 24/7, 4-year campaigns, but where there is a definite period before which parties and candidates may not do campaigning. We think that would free up time for governing. But I think some of the changes we've also made in the area of appointments, I think will also unburden the presidents, some of which we believe that the president will be more than happy to give up. So these are some of the highlights. We think on the whole we have done the best job that we could, given the opportunity, where there are difficult issues that cannot be immediately resolved. For example, how do you integrate chiefs into local government at the town and village level? This is where people live their lives. This is where chiefs tend to have most power. But it's going to be a radical transformation. So we thought, instead of this committee making that decision, that the Devolution Commission then can open dialogue with the National House of Chiefs and the Regional House of Chiefs, and then with government, and begin to fashion out modalities for that integration. So those are some of the decisions. It wasn't an attempt to kick the can down the road, but we believe that some of these decisions need a little bit more deliberation and more thought and more systematic approaches. So we have deferred those ones to bodies like the Devolution Commission, which we believe will help. For the Attorney General, we want to take some of his powers so that the oral will be done by some other body next time. So what we are proposing there is that because of the system we run, we don't have a career civil servant being Attorney General. We think that raises challenges when it comes to prosecuting political corruption and other issues affecting politically exposed persons. So we are proposing an ethics and anti-corruption commission that can be cobbled together from some of the agencies we already have. So SRAJ has some anti-corruption work, not prosecution. We think SRAJ can just focus on the human rights and ombudsman work. There's plenty of that for SRAJ to do. So we would take SRAJ's anti-corruption mandate, couple that together with what probably the OSP and other agencies currently do, and then create out of that mix a new commission, which would then handle cases of corruption, so that the AG can be freed to do, the international arbitration and the big constitutional cases and all of those other legal policy issues, reforming legal education, the profession and all of those things. And so we can see more of him. Now we don't see him at all because the anti-corruption work is taking all of his time. So we think he should be happy to see what it is that we're proposing. So thank you very much.
May I now invite His Excellency the President for the presentation of the report, please.
There's not much more to say, just to thank you for this beautiful Christmas gift. I want to thank all the members of the committee. You were chosen carefully for your integrity, your credibility, and we haven't had the experience of constitutional review committees before, and the fact that at the end of it, we had been unable to agree how to move the process forward. This time we said, let's choose the committee very carefully, so that it's a committee that Ghanaians have a trust in, so that when the report comes, it would be non-partisan. It would not have been influenced by any political interest, so that it will make it easier for all of us to come together and move the process forward. Our 1992 Constitution has served us very well. I mean, it's been the most durable Constitution, but a time comes when you need to look at it and make some adjustments so that it can serve us for an even longer period going into the future. The committee had the opportunity to give me a presentation of some of their recommendations before, so I'm not as shocked as some of you who are sitting here who are hearing them for the first time. And so I want to thank the committee for that presentation, and then also for the teaser you just gave. I'm sure tomorrow the newspapers are going to be headlined with the teasers that Professor Prempeh gave us. So you can take a rest. After working so hard for so many months, you can enjoy your Christmas. And as soon as we resume early next year, we're moving from the constitutional review process into the implementation process. And so early next year, we would announce an implementation committee. And of course, we're going to call some of you to come and serve on that committee, because we need that institutional memory transferred into the implementation. And so take a rest now, but next year we might call some of you again to form the Constitutional Review Implementation Committee. For now, we'll study the report. I've handed it over to the legal counsel and the Attorney General. They will look at it, and we'll see how to synchronize, our views. I think that many of the recommendations you've made are quite revolutionary. Some are quite radical, but I think that it's in the interest of our democracy. Currently in our sub-region, we can see many countries backsliding with regards to their democratic and constitutional governance. And so this couldn't have come at a better time. All the Afrobarometer reports and all the other reports had shown that a lot of our citizens were beginning to lose faith in our democracy. And that is why it is important for us to let them know that democratic governance is still better than any other form of governance. You might be excited about the romanticism of military governments and all that, but in the end, it is democratic governments that unleash the creative potential of people. If you leave them free, able to express themselves and go about their businesses, it unleashes their creative potential, unlike where decisions have to be taken for everybody. So I believe that this report has come at the right time. We will implement it in a bipartisan manner. All of us would come together and implement as many of the provisions as possible. I take, for instance, the issue of the Council of State and the enormous powers the government, the president is giving to make appointments. I believe that the Council of State giving a bigger role in those appointments will create more credibility in terms of people who are appointed to those positions. Of course, the president will still sign the appointment letters, but the Council of State will go through the process of identifying the persons to be appointed. So these are all some of the teasers I was giving before, which you are now hearing. And I want to thank the committee very much on behalf of the people of Ghana. You have done a great service to our nation, and you can be proud of yourselves. We have to take a decision whether to just make that. Now that we've received it, I don't want it to be kept like a nuclear secret. We probably would have to decide on a date to publish it so that all Ghanaians know what is in the summary while we wait for the actual detailed copy. So I thank you very much, and may God bless us all. Thank you.